Hello everyone, welcome back to Belinda's Country Living. I'm Belinda here, and today's video I am doing an applesauce spice cake. It's cooler weather and there's nothing like having the aroma in your home with all the spices that screams fall. So, what I'm doing is, I've got everything already pre-measured, but we're going to do this all in one huge mixing bowl. Now, if I wasn't doing a video, I wouldn't have all of these other small dishes that I would have to wash, and neither will you. So, let's get started. You are going to need 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. Now I want to tell you what I did today. I run out of all-purpose flour and I only had 2 cups. So I used 1/2 cup of self-rising flour. And I'm not going to change anything else. And hopefully this will be just fine. I've used this recipe for many, many years. When my kids were growing up, I always tried to have them something to snack on when they got home from school. And this recipe, coming from an old book, I must have got it at a yard sale or something. It says home cooking is a family affair. But I've used this recipe for years and it has never failed me yet. But I'm not sure about this added self-rising flour, so we'll see. And the recipe also says to cream the sugar and your vegetable oil first. Well, I'm not going to do that. So, and I'm not using vegetable oil, I'm modifying. I'm using butter because I like butter. So we got 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. And to that we're going to add 1 stick of butter, which is 1/2 cup. I'm going to just add that in there and you'll see how simple this will come together. This has not failed me yet. You're going to need 2 cups of sugar. Now I'm using 1 cup of white sugar and 1 cup of packed brown sugar. You're going to need a teaspoon of vanilla. If I can get this open. There we go. Like I said, all of this is going to go in one bowl. 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And like I said, I've made this several times and it does not make one bit of difference if you mix different ingredients separate. It doesn't make a difference. You're going to need 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, allspice, 1/4 teaspoon, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now you can add more or less if you like, but this is really good. Then you're going to need 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. Just this here. And 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda. And just dump that all in there. Get it all in there. And like I said, you normally would not have all these dishes to do. So we got all of that taken care of. Now you're going to need a 14-ounce can of applesauce. Just dump that in there. See how simple and quick this is. I want to tell you all that my knee today is feeling much, I'd say almost 100% better. You're going to need 2 eggs. And just dump it all in there, you know. This is not going to hurt. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to mix this up by hand. Also, be sure that your oven is preheated to 350 degrees. And you will bake this for around 45 minutes. Or until you put a toothpick in the center of it and it comes out clean. Now this recipe always called for I believe it was an 8 by 12 baking dish. Well, I never did have an 8 by 12, but I do have a 9 by 13, and that's what this is going in. And you don't need to use a mixer, just do this all by hand. And boy, if that doesn't smell delicious already. You could just smell it. Oh. And you know, you make this the same way if you want to do a spice cake. Just omit the applesauce. I'll have to do that. You could also, if you like, you could put this in 2 loaf pans. And then put just some icing on it, if you like. But we just like to eat it alone by itself. And we cut it in squares, good to have with your coffee or tea. Now, see how that mixed up? It's all mixed up. It's such a easy dessert snack. Now, I got a 9 by 13 pan. Now be sure to, that's my oven, tell me it's ready. And I have used granola oil. Spray the bottom and the sides of your pan. Be sure you get right in the corners. This will keep the cake from sticking. Okay, so there you have it. We got it all mixed up. Smells good. Now, we're gonna just put it in the baking dish. Oh, so good. Got all that goodness out of there. Hope you all are having a wonderful day. Like I said, here in Indiana, I think it's around 60 degrees. Now what I'm doing is I'm spreading this even. Now this isn't going to be a cake that's super high by all means, because I'm using a 9 by 13 pan. I will put this in the recipe in the description. Now I'm going to use my finger and get that off of the spatula. Looks so good. And I like to give it a little shake. Just like that. So I am going to put this in the oven, and I'm going to bake this for around 45 minutes. But I will check in between. You know, your oven may be different than my oven, so just keep your eye on it and check it. And I'll be back. Okay, everyone, the applesauce spice cake has just come out of the oven, and it took exactly 35 minutes to cook. So I am going to turn the camera down so you can see what it looks like. And there you have it. It's not as high as it should be because I didn't use the correct pan, but I never do. I always use a 9 by 13. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of powdered sugar, confectionate sugar, just a little bit. Show you what I'm doing here. And let's just sprinkle a little bit on top. Not much. It sure does smell very good. And now I'm going to cut a piece. And it's okay to cut this cake when it's warm. Like to kind of measure the spatula to the right size. Here we go. It's cutting very good. And we're going to do the same to this. Kind of measure the cut where you're going to dip in there and lift it out. This week is fall break for the kiddos. Oh yeah. It just lifted out. Very clean. Look at that. Very moist. And that's what the applesauce does. Let's set this aside. Look at that. Doesn't get any better than that. So, yeah. Doesn't get any better than that. All around. So, let's try a little bite. Oh my goodness. Here we go. This is one of my favorite pies or cake. Oh yeah. And this is also good with just a white icing. You can use a pre-made icing, like cream cheese icing. That would be really good. But this is just good enough by itself. You could take and mix up some powdered sugar with a little bit of milk and dazzle that over your spice cake. Y'all need to make this. This is really good. No kidding. It's really good. Boy. So if you're all watching, I'm going to give this a thumbs up. And I know if you all make it, you'll give it a thumbs up. So please be sure to subscribe to my channel, give me that thumbs up. It's right there on your left. This helps YouTube with my videos, and it helps the channel grow. And we all need our channel to grow. If it doesn't grow, it's not going to go anywhere. So until the next time, may God bless each and every one of you. And may God bless you.